Today, I'm going to be talking about time management, something that is so important. How good are you at managing the time you have? This is important because it is literally the difference between someone who is stressed all day, is constantly having to do stuff, and someone who is done by 5 p.m. and can relax and enjoy the rest of their night. It's something that I have been working on for a couple of years, becoming more efficient, and efficiency is such a cool thing because the better you get at it, the more opportunities you have in life to do the things you want to do. So I'm going to be telling you 4 of the tips some of them I picked up from reading, some of them I've just figured out myself, but 4 of the best time management tips that'll make your life a lot easier. So the first thing I want to talk about is the stacking method. Now, stacking is something where you take the things you have to do in the day, mainly your habits, things you do every day, and you stack them together on top of each other. Not to be confused with multitasking. I'm not a huge fan of doing multiple things at once because for me it's hard to focus, but stacking is doing things right one after another where you basically combine them into one action. So, for example, for me, I like to stack going to the gym, eating, and then showering right in 1, 2, 3. So for example, let's say if these habits aren't stacked, I go to the gym, I come home, bullshit, whatever, take 10, 15 minutes, then I take a shower, then I, answer text, go on my phone, whatever, and then I eat. It takes something that if they're stacked, those 3 things might take 2 hours total. If they're not stacked, it might take 3 hours total. So just by stacking those 3 actions on top of each other, doing them consecutively every day, I'm saving myself an hour. Another example would be in the morning, if you have a bunch of stuff you do for hygiene, rather than doing, 1, 2, then going, sitting down, doing whatever, you stack every single one of those on top of each other. And stacking, it doesn't seem like it does much in the moment, but doing these things absolutely consecutively saves so much time. It's unbelievable. It adds up to maybe like 2 hours a day you're saving just by stacking things on top of one another. So take whatever habits you have, look at the things you do every day, and see what things you can just stack and clump together to form like one big action. And I promise you, it's going to save you so much time. So look at the stuff you can stack and stack it. The second time management skill that's also very helpful is reducing your transition time. Now, transition time when it comes to habits and having things you have to do is how long it takes you switching from one thing to the next, transitioning from doing one thing to the other. So the best example I can give of this is when I was in college, I would have my first class at like 9 a.m. and then I would go to the track field to run. But what I was doing in the beginning was I was going to class, then going back to my apartment, and then going all the way to the track to run. And this whole process of going from my class to home to get changed into my running stuff to going and running would take like 30 to 45 minutes. And I didn't know it then, but that was 30 or 45 minutes I was losing every single day just because of this big transition time. So what I ended up doing when I figured out that was, wrong, I would take my running clothes to class and, I would have them in like a bag or something. And then I would go right from class to the track, and that would save me 30, because it would only take me like 5 minutes to go from class to the track. That saved me 30 minutes every single day I did that, just by getting rid of that extra transition time. So take a look at all the things you do in your life and look at what is the transition time. And another good example of this is how far away is your gym. I highly recommend everyone, when you're looking at what gym to sign up for, honestly, one of the most important things is how close is it? Because if you have a gym that's 30 minutes away, you're driving 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back. That's an hour of transition time every single day. That is time you could be using to do something else. Whereas if you have a gym 5 minutes away, you're only using 10 minutes a day to do that transition. So it can make a huge impact. Look at the things in your life. How long does it take to switch from one thing to another? How long does it take to get to something you have to do, and try to reduce that as much as possible. This can save up to an hour, 2 hours every single day of your life, which you can spend on other stuff. So reduce that transition time if possible. The third thing is the ability to deeply focus when you have something you have to do that requires a lot of thought and focus. So basically, certain tasks you'll be able to do like pretty easily no matter what, but certain things, especially if you're in school and you have homework and projects and stuff, the amount of time it takes you to do that stuff is going to heavily depend on how focused you are when you do it. I'll give a great example. I had an art history class in college, stupid class, and there would be these like online assignments that were actually like really hard for no reason whatsoever. And I noticed that when I would do these assignments, when I was, in a distracted environment around my friends, on my phone, taking breaks and stuff, this assignment would take me maybe an hour to do every single time. But I figured out that when I was deeply focused, I was at the library, I put my phone away, I wasn't talking to anybody, I could get it done in maybe 10, 15 minutes. And this is true for a lot of tasks. If you're less distracted, more focused, you're totally locked in and able to think hard about the thing you have to do, you will save a ridiculous amount of time in the day from just being distracted and not being able to focus your best. Because your mind, if you're constantly, replying to text, talking to someone, you have a TV on in the background. It is crazy to me in college how many people do their homework while they have they're watching TV in the background, having conversations with their friends. They are losing so much time because think about it. If it takes you 2 hours to finish your homework when you're distracted, and it would otherwise take you 30 minutes if you were totally focused, that is an hour and a half that the person who was distracted said, "Oh, I spent 2 hours doing homework today. Woe is me." But in reality, you could have saved so much more time if you just took 30 minutes to focus and bang it all out. So being able to bang stuff out totally focused, tuning out distractions will save you so much time in your day. And then when you get done all that stuff, you'll have so much more time to actually relax, watch TV, talk with friends, whatever. So get yourself in these deep focus states. There's a whole book about this by Cal Newport, great book called Deep Work. But yeah, lock in and you'll be able to finish these tougher, more thoughtful things a lot faster. And the last thing is something I like to call proactivity sessions, which I do once a day. So basically, we all have a million tiny, tiny tasks that take us maybe a minute or so to do, but because we're so focused on all the bigger stuff, we end up never doing them, procrastinating them, forgetting about them, and it leads to a lot of stress. So what I found out is an absolute cheat code to staying on top of things is taking 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes a day, whatever your time allows, and just entirely dialing yourself in, like I said earlier, get into a state of focus and absolutely bang out these tiny things that you have to do, but you otherwise would be avoiding. It is ridiculous how much it de-stresses you when you just take a simple 10, 15 minutes a day to do all of the tiny little things that otherwise would be nagging at you and you would be avoiding. So it's really nothing. It really is crazy how much little time it takes a day, but how much time it'll save you if you just take a little bit of time and all those little things. Some examples of these would be like responding to all your texts, I don't know, ordering something you need to order, telling someone something important, taking 5 minutes to plan something you have to do tomorrow. All these little tiny things, like everybody has in school these homework assignments that is going to take 3 minutes, so you avoid it. But all of these tiny, tiny tasks, if you just take a tiny amount of time throughout the day, bang them all out, get in a focused state, and be as proactive as possible, just for a little bit of time, it'll make so much of a difference. It'll reduce your stress, and you'll be able to focus on the big things you have to do with a lot more clarity. So be as proactive as possible for just a little bit of time a day, and it'll make a huge amount of difference. So those are my 4 tips for time management. I know I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm not giving you guys anything breathtaking, but these 4 simple things, they will make your life so much quicker, so much more efficient. And at the end of the day, the main reason you want to care about time management is it gives you so much more time to relax and enjoy stuff. Me personally, I've gotten to the point where I can have all the important stuff done in a day in maybe 5 hours, and then the rest of the day I can read, I can go on walks, I can watch TV I can hang out with friends, and I don't have to stress. So I highly encourage all of you to look at the things you're doing every day, find ways to make it faster, make it more efficient, and it will have a great effect on your life. So that's all I got for today. Hope you all enjoyed. See you in the next one. Peace.